So this is an article from The Independent from the 3rd of February this year, in which the author of the article, James Moore, demands of men that you man up. And his title is "The Rise in Prostate Cancer Deaths is Not Down to Gender Bias. Here's Why." Well, actually it is. A study found that men in Britain visited their general practitioner 4 times a year compared to 6 for women. They also visited pharmacies 4 times a year. For women, the number was 18. Yeah, well, that's very easily explained away, James, because women have far more time when it comes to asking their boss for time off work. They have far more time to go to the GP with their children in particular, and when they're housewives, it doesn't even come into it because men are busy at work. But maybe he hasn't taken this into consideration. But this article is an absolute sexist disgrace as far as I'm concerned. He continues, "The framing of the story about the number of men dying from prostate cancer outstripping the number of women dying from breast cancer for the first time made me want to tear what remains of my hair out. I'd love to do it for you, James. One notable tabloid, guess which, but no prizes." Well, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, as you're not qualifying your accusation. "Produced a highly coloured graphic showing that while breast cancer gets pots of cash, prostate cancer is a poor relation." Yeah, well, that's absolutely correct. And it's not just in terms of cash, it's also in terms of political attention to both of these diseases, one of which affects just men, prostate cancer, the other affects both women and men, breast cancer. Anyway, as someone, he says, whose family has a melancholy experience of the latter, he means prostate cancer, my grandfather died from it, and I've had a scare. Yeah, not scared enough that he can't write this piss poor article, but not the former. This sort of thing needs to stop. Right now, he orders. Fuck you, James. Frankly, he says, I'm delighted that cash is being spent on research into breast cancer. I'll happily put some of mine in the collecting jar next time it comes around. He's supposed to be right. He was tasked by his editor with writing about prostate cancer, and instead he's talking about breast cancer. I mean, how sexist is that? He carries on, "I'm disturbed to see Baroness Blythe Morgan of breast cancer now stated that progress on the disease is stalling." He's talking about breast cancer, and then he says, "You should be too. If you're not, get lost. I'm not interested in you. Your morality is diseased." This fucking guy is supposed to be talking about prostate cancer, and now he's attacking people over breast cancer. It just beggars belief. Anyway, he carries on. "Now, if you want to talk about finding better ways to treat the other killer and making sure the fight against it gets the funding it needs, I'm all ears." Well, it didn't sound like it to me. "Instead of setting up a false competition between men's health issues and women's health issues, how about we do that? How about we fight both?" Well, yeah, how about we do that? Because you are the one who sounds like you're creating a competition. And he continues, "That might be easier if it weren't for, well, men. You see, guys, it's always your fucking fault. Prostate cancer is your fault. Not going to the doctor is your fault. Breast cancer is your fault. Fucking everything is your fucking fault. I regularly write about disability," he says, "and that includes tackling some of the many medical issues I've had to deal with. When you get run over by a truck, you end up with a few. Well, I'm sorry you got... no, fuck it. I wish I'd been there. No, fuck it. I wish I'd been the truck driver, if that indeed is what happened. I just imagine, it's a tailback as you've run over some guy and the cops turn up, and I'm in the truck that ran over this guy, and the cop says, would you mind telling me what happened, sir?" "Well, I'm sorry about that, officer, but I ran over a journalist." "Crossing the street, was he, sir?" "No, he was standing on the pavement, but I got the bastard." Anyway, that little joke aside, he says, "But I have to admit, when it was suggested that I write a piece about prostate cancer, I at first tried to think about the best way of getting out of it. God, you believe this shit? And then he says, God damn, give me some politics already, or some business, some sport. Maybe he can't talk back to his editor or sub-editor, I don't know. But it seems to me that he's making it pretty clear that he doesn't really seem to care that much. I won't say he couldn't care less, but I don't know, because he says here, just writing the word prostate is kind of difficult. No, it's not, James, if you can fucking spell. You're supposed to be a fucking journalist writing about prostate cancer. And he continues, prostate, 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 and then he sticks in brackets, shudders. And that's before we get into a discussion of the symptoms. In brackets again, fear not, I'm not going to go there. So he has a full page in the Independent, and he can't be asked, given the fucking symptoms of the disease, which are very simple indeed in most cases, which could literally save lives. This guy is a fucking disgusting disgrace. I was told by a female colleague that women tend to be very different, that they are more comfortable talking about medical stuff, even the embarrassing stuff men like to refer to as women's problems. So he's back to talking about women's issues, and I'm not covering this much longer. Okay, so he has a one-woman fucking survey, and I don't know what to do with this article. I'll just skip through the rest of it, and I'm skipping down a bit here. Needless to say, men are also less likely to be honest when they get to their GP, their general practitioner surgery. Yeah, that's right, men, bunch of fucking liars. I regularly meet up for a drink with a friend who, like me, has disabilities. Medical issues are a big part of both of our lives, but we don't often talk about them. Why are you telling me about you and your fucking friend having a drink in a fucking pub? We talk about politics, business, and some sports. We also talk about movies, books, and TV. We rip on each other, and sometimes also, you're supposed to be writing about prostate cancer. Remember? Prostate. No, he got run over by the truck. Yeah, well, try this. I wonder how he'd feel if I said this to him. Cripple, 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 cripple. How uncomfortable is it to write that word? Cripple. Fucking arsehole is a word more applicable to him. Right, look, I tell you what, I'm not going to go through the rest of the article, but he ends up by declaring that... I'll do the last paragraph, okay. If you are looking for a reason for why prostate cancer is the poor relation to breast cancer, so he admits it, it might just be because men treat their health like a poor relation generally. No, the media, politicians, and feminists do that. You hypocrite. And he declares, I'm as guilty as anyone. No, you're fucking more guilty because you had a chance to reveal the symptoms of prostate cancer and you refused. My father had prostate cancer. He died last year. Anyway, this isn't a personal thing to me because of that. He died of something else, as many men who get prostate cancer do. Anyway, he finishes off, as I write this, a set of blood testing forms are glaring evilly up at me from my desk. Perhaps we should all of us, man up. Well, yeah, I think you should fucking man up, and if you're ever tasked with this again, try and deal with it like a fucking man.